Today we're taking a look at the Do-Win Weightlifting Shoe. So 3 things I like about this shoe. Number 1, it's super secure. There are 6 eyelets that run up. It has double midfoot straps. You can pull the shoe really tight and have it very secure on the foot. The second pro I like about this shoe is the wider profile. This shoe is designed to work with maximal toe splay, so you never have to worry about fully splaying those toes in the catch of the snatch or the clean and jerk. It's designed to be wide. The final pro with this shoe is the price. This shoe comes in around $95, and for a weightlifting shoe that offers a TPU heel, a secure midfoot, and a wider base, I think that's a pretty good deal. 2 potential cons I could see athletes having with the Do-Win Weightlifting Shoe. Number 1, I like the wider profile, but if you have a narrow foot, you might find that it's a little bit roomy up here in the toe box. That could be problematic for some. And number 2 is the material back here on the boot is a little thin, and I'm not completely sold on the durability of this. We'll talk on that more in the construction features later in this video. Now let's dive into the price. In respects to price for the Do-Win Weightlifting Shoe, you can find this model for around $95 on Rogue Fitness. This shoe has a 0.75-inch TPU heel. It has 2 midfoot straps and a leather outer construction. In terms of other weightlifting shoes, $95 puts this shoe a little bit below average in terms of what you can pay. For what the shoe has to offer, I think it's a pretty good deal. So how did these shoes perform in the gym? In terms of other weightlifting shoes, I thought these were pretty consistent. The 0.75-inch TPU heel makes them very stable, and they feel very similar to other weightlifting shoes I've tried. I'm a fan of double foot straps. I like having extra stability, and honestly, you can loosen them or tighten them as much as you want, which gives a lot of variability to the stability of this model. In terms of the toes performance and the reactivity, I thought it's pretty reactive. It doesn't take incredibly long to break in, so if you're worried about having a really stiff shoe for like a couple weeks, I don't think you're gonna have to really worry about that with this model. And in terms of overall performance, I would rank these like a B+, A-. I like the wider base for full toe splay, and I think they're gonna match the needs of a lot of weightlifters. All right, let's talk sizing and fit of the Do-Win Weightlifting Shoe. This is a size 10 model. I'm a size 10 foot, and I'm pretty true to size. In all of our weightlifting shoes, I wear size 10 to give you an idea of where my foot falls and to tell you if you should size up or size down. So I've mentioned that this is a wider profile shoe. I have a slightly more narrow foot, so I'm interested to see where my foot falls in this model. I'm gonna put it on, fully lace the shoes tight, and I'm gonna pull the straps fully tight to give you an idea of how much overlay there is. I'm gonna be straight up with you. There is a lot of shoestring here. So I might have to triple knot these puppies just to keep the shoestring out of the way in this review. Double knotted, triple knotted. All right, we're gonna put on the first strap first, pull it fully tight. There's no overlay here on the ground, I like that. Previous models before and other brands have had some overlay, not shouting out any names. Romaleos do. Okay, so where is my foot landing in this model? So up here on the toe, I have about, I would say almost an inch of clearance up here. And in all honesty, I don't feel like it's any less stable. I might actually want to go a half size down, but I don't feel like it's really impeding my movement in the shoe. There is a lot of wiggle room up here, so if you're worried about that, I would definitely maybe recommend going a half size down. In terms of width, I know it's a wider profile shoe, but in all honesty, I don't feel like I'm swimming up here on the sides on the lateral or medial side. I'm fully splaying my toes, and as you can see, I have some action here on the outsides. So I don't think the wider profile is too big of an issue, especially for my foot at least, and I don't think it's gonna be an issue for a lot of athletes who have just kind of a standard foot size. I actually think it could be a plus. In terms of overall fit on the boot back here, a little bit of a lower fitting shoe, doesn't feel unstable by any means, and I think it's gonna be a pretty good fit. Okay, so should you size up or size down? In all honesty, I'm not completely sold on the extra wiggle room up here. The outer leather construction isn't the most stable, so this does feel like a lot of room up here towards the toe. Not so much in the wider profile down here with the forefoot, but up here at the toe. So if you're looking into this model, I would definitely recommend looking at a half size down. All right, let's take a look at the Do-Win Weightlifting Shoes construction. We're gonna make our way from the heel to the toe. Back here on the heel, we have a 0.75-inch TPU heel. That's pretty standard with most weightlifting shoes. The rubber outsole comes up a little bit further up here back on the heel. Doesn't feel like it's gonna peel off. It feels pretty durable. Making our way to the boot. The boot itself is about, I would say, kind of standard with what other shoes feel like. It doesn't feel incredibly high or low. We have a heel cup that comes about 2 inches off the heel here on the full back of the shoe. One thing I will note about the boot that I'm not completely sold on is how thin this material is back here. They have a mesh nylon and like a leather outer back here on the heel, and it's just very maneuverable. Does it really impede performance? Not so much, but I'm really worried about the long-term durability of the shoe. But again, I guess it is a little bit more cost efficient, so it's more of a weight of your pros and cons there. Making our way to the midfoot, we have 6 eyelets that run up this model. We have a standard shoestring. The tongue itself is decently wide and very maneuverable, very breathable. It's not incredibly flimsy. As you can see, I can bend it, move it however I want. There are 2 straps that go across the midfoot, one down here towards the toes and one up here towards the ankle. I like that because, in all honesty, some people like having a more stable toe versus ankle, vice versa, or you like to have full stability on the full foot. These 2 straps do a pretty good job at that, and they're pretty long, so you can pull them as tight or as loose as you need them. In terms of the hooks over here, hooks are pretty standard. I'm also worried about the long-term durability of these. They don't feel like they have an incredible amount of durability behind them, and I'd be curious to see how they're lasting in about a year, 2 years of using this shoe consistently. But again, weighing back to the price, it's gonna really come down to your pros and cons. Making our way up here to the toe, we have a full leather construction out here. The side here, like I mentioned back here on the heel, is a leather and a nylon mesh. Up here on the toe, full leather. We have a lip that comes up somewhat on the outsole here, and the midsole is a thicker rubber going throughout the toe. So we have a pretty sturdy base going through the forefoot to the heel and then all the way up to the toe. All right, so in terms of overall construction, the outer is a leather and a nylon mesh material. We have 2 straps going across the shoe, 6 eyelets, a 0.75-inch TPU heel, and a leather outsole that is pretty grippy and pretty firm for what it's worth. So in terms of overall construction, I think those are the main things worth noting. That wraps up my review of the Do-Win Weightlifting Shoes. I'm a fan of their performance and I'm a fan of their price, but I do have some concerns with their long-term durability. To read my full thoughts and what other athletes think about this model, make sure to visit our written review and Google BarBend and Do-Win Weightlifting Shoes.